Ah yes, the SKAVEN. One of Warhammer's more unique properties and definitely a fun to play and paint army. In this tutorial I'll show you how I painted my Stormvermin that accompany and defend Grimdark and maybe other Clawlords on the field. We start with a mix of dark purple, Hexed Lichen, covering more or less the entire mini as we want to have a purple undertone for the skin and clothing as well. But we try to have the dark purple be more towards the center of the mini and the Hexed Lichen on the more raised areas. I also want to create a smooth transition on the banner so it does not look boring and just plain purple. For the red tail, we use Magenta as a base coat. After the mini has dried, we paint Bugmans glow onto the skin parts like their little paws and snoots. For the freehand on the banner, I will upload a video that's more or less uncut sometime this weekend. And while you see me painting, you could smash the like button or subscribe to this channel. We carefully mix more and more Elfic flesh into the skin tones until we reach a point where we are happy with the color. I angle my brush here in a way that it cannot touch the recesses of the face. In this way I only get the most raised areas, which makes his overall appearance look very pronounced. For the tongue we simply use Magenta as well. We carefully paint some lines on the red tail with a 50-50 mix of Elfic flesh and Magenta. And for the little teeth we use Elfic flesh. And we start painting the armor with Warplock bronze. I really want to have a clean and dark metal color here for the undercoat, because I cannot imagine that even these little elite red boys here take good care of their armor. And don't forget to paint the shin bone armor here lurking out of its robes, because that happened to me on some of these boys. For the chainmail I did the exact opposite approach, as I want to have a bit of contrast here. Maybe he stole it from a Draven or something. So I took a bright silver and covered the entire chainmail. It won't shine that bright once we have darkened it down with a wash. And that's exactly what we do right now. We shade the metallic parts with Vallejo's Game Wash Black. Once that's dry, we take this red man to the next level. As we start painting the recesses of the armor with Pro Acryls Jade, dilute it with a bit of water to have it flow right into the gaps, scratches and whatever these armors have. This paint has such an amazing coverage that one coat should be enough to sell this rust and oxidized effect. If your rat has some spikes on his back, make sure that the bottom of them are covered as well. Their little pointy sticks, banners and leathers get a coat of dark rust. Highlighting some of the areas with a brighter purple, like an 80-20 mix of Hexed Lichen and Elfic flesh. I would also like to make you aware of my Patreon, where you get access to my Discord server and a lot of behind the scenes material. And while we're on it, here is the shout out to my very first member, Niels Matuszewski. Thank you so much for the support, man. For the bit of fur showing, I choose Wolf Grey as I want them to represent an albino breed of the Skaven. And while we're on it, we also paint the little rats accompany him. And of course the not so well pedicured nails on their little feet. Highlighting the wrappings of his little weapon here with Elfic flesh. If we are angling the brush in such a way that we only paint with the edge, the highlights will magically appear. Now coming back to the fur, and we use a pure white to highlight it. We can use the same white to paint the eyeball. And now we use Warp Lightning to tint the eyes and the area around them in green. Using not the smallest of brushes here is very handy, since it can hold more paint in its bristles. Just make sure it's very pointy. I was not sure if I wanted these guys to have warp style blades, but since I will mostly field them with Critok, I thought it was very fitting. And hey, it's fantasy, no one is stopping us to do so. So we cover the whole blade with dark green and wet blend more and more lime green onto it. Similar to glazing, with wet blending we also have the brightest points of the color transition, where we stop the motion of our brush. After it's dried, we put on another layer, only covering the sharp part of the blade. Putting on the first edge highlight with lime green. And by the way, can anybody tell me why his gun is not represented in his profile? It somehow bothers me. It does not even have to be an active weapon, but make him have an ability like run faster or something, like being a commissar. And going brighter with a mix of lime green and white for the most defined parts. The same can be done with all the warpstone bits. Let's make the boss stand out a little more and give him a coat of orange on his little trophy rack. And for the last step, we roughly highlight the armor with a bronze or dark bronze like color. I guess with all these oxidized metals I have a bit of a grimdark style going on here. What would you say? Are these grimdark or aren't they? And now I have to paint the rest of the squad, so we see each other in the next one.